Hi, Ridge here, and thank you so much for stopping by another live stream that we have here. Slowly beginning to figure this stuff out as I slowly improve. I really appreciate you taking, and now that delay is bothering me crazy. Okay, so today we are going to be going over channel critiques. If you missed our last live stream, there wasn't a lot of people that showed up, so I critiqued some of my videos. So if you had happened to watch that, hopefully there was some helpful information on there for you. In the meantime, we have a few people watching. Hopefully, a few more people will jump on. And I want to just kind of do something just slightly differently this time. So, what I want to do is we have some music playing in the background. There we go. Let's turn it way down. And there's Roger. How you doing, man? Looks like he stopped by. Let me make sure I turn this down. Hang on. There we go. Turn it down. I thought I'd play music in the background, but it's way too loud. Way too loud. But anyway, so what I want to do for this live stream, as I have for other ones in the past, is I want to be able to, if you want me to look at your video and critique it, and I know specifically you, Roger, you're, you, you said you were an anchor and stuff like that. So video, presentation, everything is on your mind. I actually seen some of your videos. I would really have to try to pick them apart to try to find something did. I loved your rant about bad backgrounds. That's why I did the whole hair light and black background to try to make it real simple and good looking, because I don't want Roger to get mad at me. I don't want Matt to make a rant about me. Anyway, so as more people join on and stuff like that, if you want a video critiqued of yours, just post it in the link. And I'll look at it, with over 20 years of filmmaking experience. I've taught classes. I've helped start things. I'm a judge at a festival. I want to be able to give back, and I want to be able to help people, because I think I can give a lot of insight. As I've mentioned before in my previous live streams, I've made 2 feature films, technically 4 feature films, and those were the other 2 are just garbage, so I won't bring those up. But the other 2 feature films that I do have actually are on Amazon right now. You can watch them. Links in the description. And so I want to be able to offer my advice to people as far as filmmaking, because the way we shot was incredibly efficient. Now, I've worked on large budget, up to like $2 million budget films before, and I see the inefficiency. And when we did our low budget films, the efficiency was just phenomenal. It was great. And it was because of the experience through all of these other venues and all of these other feature films that I was able to learn a lot. So when we shot our first feature film, 2016, The Beast, it was actually really, it went really, really, really well. So I want to be able to try and give some of that back. We shot May 7th, 2016, and by the August 1st, I had a completed version of the film. So that means shot, edited, music, everything. So anyway, yeah, Roger, yeah. Um, Rants with Rogers says, yeah, I didn't know that, man. Yeah, so I shot feature film. If you check the links in the description, I would say The Beast is a little more it's a mystery thriller, and it's a little more like horror. But Monster Gold is, if you just click on it, watch the trailer, and you don't laugh, then don't watch the movie. But the trailer's pretty funny. It stars me just being myself. So that was a wrong description of it. But anyway, just watch the trailer sometime. You do have to pay for Monster Gold right now because it just came out. I'm trying to get a little money on it, but The Beast is actually free to watch. So, if you get a chance to watch that. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So Monster Gold, we took $3,000. We went out and shot this found footage comedy, and I scheduled 6 days to shoot it. We got it done in 4. And that was with a lot of improv and a lot of extra scenes we added to it, because that was the way I designed the screenplay to work. There was going to be a lot of improv. And so here we are, I'm like, Thursday, we're going to have our wrap party Sunday. And I was like, instead of showing clips or something, for the wrap party, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to have the whole movie done. So I just bared down, and I had a rough edit or what they call a first draft done in 4 days. And that included sound effects, that included uh, temp tracks, like temporary music, that included I didn't do color grading, but I mean it was the rough cut. And we had dual cameras, so I had two cameras that I had to shoot with and an audio package that we were shooting, so I had to sync three different devices in every single shot almost. So anyway, that's not to brag. That's to say that I can help with efficiency when it comes to that. So, if you're interested in making your YouTube shooting experience more efficient so your quality will just crawl out of that, please let me know. Post in the comments and let me know that you would like me to look at one of your videos. Maybe I can give you some advice. Anyway, so that is that. I'm going to just pull up some fun stuff here on another screen. Last time we didn't have anybody show up. We had one guy show up and then leave. Uh, this time, again, we have Ryan, but Ryan doesn't really watch. Ryan, he's from Bad Editor. He makes really hilarious edit videos. He just plays it in the background and walks away, which is fine. I do that with a lot of live streams, so I can't blame. Whoa, that was the wrong button. Stop that music. Oh, I'll probably get demonetized for that little half second of a song that came out. Anyway, so what I like to do, if nobody's posting in the comments below, what I do want to do is talk about just a couple tips that you can do to increase your efficiency. Um, so the first thing would be last time I talked about like what I do to come up with an idea. A lot of it is inspired by usually just a thought, well, like while driving to work. Um, and So I'll begin to slowly begin to develop that until it becomes a full idea. Once that becomes idea, I break it down into points. Like how can I tell this in a point? And then I do the stupid thing by then doing the research to find out if there's keywords I can use. I should be doing it the other way around. Do a keyword search, then get inspired by that. But anyway, I'm learning. I'm still doing. That's why it's called My Journey to Wealth, right? So using the free version of HitFilm for edit. Any thoughts on that program? Okay, yeah, let me rant about editing programs. Um, there are so HitFilm is great. The free version, I downloaded it, tried it out for a little while. I liked it. The thing I didn't like about it was its navigation capabilities. What you need as an editor is navigation is your number one key to being efficient. Um, I'm thinking it was in one of my live streams that I talked or in my video about how to start a YouTube or how to become a millionaire on YouTube. I don't remember, or maybe I'm just planning and have practiced the video in my head and I haven't actually released it yet. But there are three things that you need to look for, in my opinion, in an LE. The first one is, can you drag and drop your files from Windows or Mac, whatever you're using, straight to your timeline? Because for content creators like us, the whole idea of importing it, creating new folders, putting the second camera, B camera, all of that into different folders, like why do that? You already have it organized on in Windows, you know? So why do you have to redo that? So click, drag, can you drop it onto your timeline? That will cut down your efficiency so much rather than having to import it, create separate bins and all of these things. I If I'm remembering correctly, it's been about a year, Matt, since I've used that. Um, if I'm remembering correctly, that was a software that did allow that, the clicking, dragging, and dropping straight. So like you download your files straight to your computer, or even if it's a short video, you can just do it straight off your card. So I don't think I can. Okay, so maybe that was one of the softwares, and maybe that was the big thing that pushed me away from it. Was being able to drag and drop straight up the files. I will say Film Riot loves HitFilm, and they promote it. They were sponsored, and they also just promoted it before they were even sponsored, saying it's a great software. But that one was a huge deal. That was a huge deal breaker for me, because basically I go plug in my card, download it straight to. I have actually, let me just show you. I'm gonna pull up, and I'll show you my file organization. Hopefully you'll be inspired. You might look at it and be like, "That's trash." Never, and that's fine. I don't care. Let me pull it up here. So I'm gonna go to YouTube. Okay, so here we go. Let me switch screens here. So what I got here is just a bunch of random stuff, but I have episodes and I have them numbered. This was back when I was doing Monday Mindsets. Um, and like, let's say real estate. I'm doing a collaboration with Ben Chen. Um, so then I throw in, and as you see, just look, a little side note before I get back to my main point. I have tons of copies of just blank, and that blank is just basically all the tracks that I need for sound effects, music, and stuff that are all blank, and then I have my intro and my end card inserted, and I have my all my audio recording filters and stuff for my voice, my color correction already loaded and set. So anyway, so then when I create a new folder, I create new, and then jump into that. And then you can see I have main cam, and then second main cam. That's if I ever have overlapping file names. Fairly simple. Same with main cam other. So I download them straight into here. And then I go over to my main software, and I can't pull it up because it does do dual screen. I'm not able to really pull that up. And I want to make sure that I can actually pull that up and actually drop it straight in, straight to the timeline. I drag it straight in, boom. And then I have, when I was using my GoPro, it was the GoPro, and this one is all the extra files that's my second camera. I do a dual camera shoot, so then I look over at the straight at the camera. So it's very nice to be able to, once I download these straight to these folders, that I'm able to just click on those and drag them straight onto the timeline. And I don't have to do any extra import or anything like that. That greatly increases my efficiency. So for me as a software, that is a huge, huge, huge deal. I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up here. Let me kind of change screens here. Like I said, I'm just trying to figure out this whole. So, oh, I, it's cutting out, isn't? No, it's not. Okay. Sometimes it takes over my audio. Just realized I just about screwed myself on a project. Anyway, let's drag this over to here. Okay, you can see it. I'll get rid of the preview window. Okay, can you still hear me? Awesome. Streaming software I'm using is the streaming software. It's just a Streamlabs OBS. It was just the one I googled and clicked on the first one, so I know it's maybe not the best, but I know it was sure as heck it's not the worst. Now Google's talking to me. Oh, because I said the word Google. Okay, let me see here. Oh, Dave Ramsey. So let me pull up that project and show you kind of the layout of what my project generally looks like. So I've got my skit at the beginning, and I have the Dave Ramsey shots down here and there, and I cut back and forth. The biggest reason I wanted to show this up is because in the beginning of it, because I have the dual cameras here, when I, if I, oh, hold on, let me drag the preview window so you can see. If I pull away that, you can see the other angle. So that's essentially all I do. So I cut it once I sync them up, and as I've talked about before, I use a little dog ticker, little dog trainers, and that creates such a sharp sound that it actually peaks in all of the audio waveforms right here. And so that way I can see, and then I just line up the second audio with that, and then I link them together and just group them together. And so when I want to cut to my other camera, so in here, in this case, when I'm looking over at this camera, boom, all I do is make a slice and then just basically disappear the video with the opacity fader. I don't know. There's maybe a better efficient way to do it, but that's the way I do it, and it's incredibly efficient. So let's see here. Let me check up with the comments here. Yeah, the streaming software I have and this time it didn't fail on me. So I think it's because I clicked normal latency and not ultra low latency, because that just crashed on me. So anyway, once I get that sunk up, here's the other thing that will increase if your software can do this, and look in the settings to see if you can change it. Um, is that, see, I'm scrolling my mouse right now. Scroll and it expands and closes. In my opinion, that is what you want. You don't want this. You don't want it to scroll up and down when you scroll, which I think Adobe does that by default. I believe you can change it, or scroll right and left. Because if you're doing a big project and you're like, oh, let me get to the end, scroll, 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 scroll. But watch what I do. If scroll is set to expand, I'm like, boom, boom, end, ready to go. For me, it's just it's no duh. Granted, I've been using this for 7 or 8 years, so I'm really familiar with it. But I've watched other guys that are really darn good at like Adobe and stuff like that, and I'm watching them just like, man, navigation sucks on this. And then the third tip, so we talk about dragging and dropping from windows. We've talked about navigation, scrolling should be your default, should be expanding, zooming in and out. And then the third one would absolutely be the slice tool. I've got my cursor here. One button should cause the slice. That's the most common function for an editor. If you have to hold a button and slice or do this or that, if it can't be changed, in my opinion, I would move on from that software, because your single key functions is what's going to make you an incredibly fast editor. And when it comes to YouTube, especially like you and me, Roger, as we get better, or I'm sorry, Matt, as we get better at this, we're going to need to come out. I do already 2 pieces of content and now a live stream, so technically 3 pieces of content a week. We're going to need to learn to get really efficient at this. So those are the 3 things that I recommend. Whatever NLE you use, that it's that efficient for you. So anyway, having said that, just showed you that. Let me look back at the chat here. Let's see here. This editing program was Vegas. It was previously owned by Sony, and back in the day, this was about 7 or 8 years ago, it was one of the top of the line, and then very quickly fell by the wayside. I don't know what happened. And now it was sold out to Magix, which is a foreign company, and it still does decent. And part of me is like, I want to switch over to the more of the industry standard, but I just fight it so much. And believe me, I've tried to edit short films on stuff. It takes me 3 times as long. Don't forget, feature film. It was an hour and 10 minutes in 4 days. Either I'm just like Superman, or this software is actually really efficient. So, yeah, that's what I use. I will say that Vegas's plugins used to be called Sony Vegas, now it's called Magix Vegas. Used to be their plugins are kind of crappy. They're not the greatest. I like the third-party VTS plugins to help take over their lack of good plugins. Anyway, so that's a basic rundown of my opinion of what you should do in pre-production. So we got Travis Breuer stopping by. Hello, Travis. For those of you who do not know, he actually starred in The Beast, my first feature film. Again, link in the description. You can watch it for free on YouTube, or you can go over to Amazon and also watch it for free with less ads. Anyway, yeah. So Travis has been an awesome film, been part of the film community, and he's also a judge at the. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Travis. I really appreciate it. Smiley face with the tongue out. Um, yeah, he's also a judge at the film festival that we're doing. We have a lot of awesome films. I'm cutting together the sizzle reel, and it's pretty quick, when you have a very efficient software, cutting together stuff like that's pretty quick. Yeah, we'll see you later, Travis. Thanks for stopping by. Anyway, so how many people do we have watching? I have too many windows up. Let me just minimize Vegas here. So, Roger, do you have any questions that I could maybe answer? Since you're the only one here, I don't know if you want me to critique one of your videos, or maybe just have a question about this particular software, because I'm an advocate for it. In fact, I've thought about sending over a sponsorship deal like, hey, I'll mention you in a video if you just let me have the newest version for free because I like them. I think they're really really good. They're really efficient. Again, the plugins are a little janky. They're not the greatest, but they're efficient. So basically, it's like the presets are not very helpful. You have to know how to use an equalizer. Otherwise, yeah, there's I had to learn the hard way with a lot of this of the softwares. There's not a lot of shortcuts in this, but what is awesome. Oh, and this is something else. Let me bring up the screen one more time. This is also something else that's crazy about the software. I'm on this window, right? Anywhere I click, the sub cursor is going to jump up there. If I right click anywhere, something's going to happen, and that is not the case with most softwares. If I want to add effects to a single panel, I can either add it to the entire track or I can add it to a single video clip, add color, whatever. So being able to navigate to to do something multiple different ways is also another thing you absolutely need to think about when deciding on software. Let's see here. Let me see here. Yeah, absolutely. So, this gal you're talking about, she said she's a writer, like for feature films, short films. What does she write? Either way, you can send the info. Obviously, I like connecting with people. So, oh, that's Ryan's channel, Bad Editor, by the way. His channels are pretty funny. Maybe I'll actually just show you a clip. Yeah, definitely. Definitely though, Matt, send me the stuff. Let me see here. Bad Editor. Since we don't have that many people watching right now, I figured, hey, instead of ranting or something, let me. This actually was like the most popular viewed one, which was weird because I don't think it's that funny. I don't know if you guys are Avengers watchers or not, but here we go. Whoopsies, couldn't handle
On
that.
your left. Avengers!
Anyway, so Ryan does a bunch of stupid stuff like that. But anyway, let me look at the other question. She writes feature films. I think she edits our morning newscast. Wow, yeah, no, definitely send the information over. That sounds cool, man. I'd love to meet with her and to chat with her. I have let's see, I've personally written 3 feature-length scripts that haven't been made into feature films. So I have 3 that are sitting, they're pitch decked, they're like ready to go as soon as I can find like a producer that actually wants to make them. Um, but anyway, so yeah, I love to talk with writers. In fact, I'm going to be filming at the festival we're doing in May. Oh, I'm sorry, April. I'll be filming a work class from trying to remember her credentials. I believe she's written feature films that have been made into like big blockbusters, and so she's teaching a class on screenwriting. Actually, 2 classes, one on pitch meetings and then one on screenwriting, which is really cool, which is really really neat. So, really happy to be a part of that. Yeah, the poop glass got taken care of. Yes. Yeah, it got washed out and bleached and stuff like that, but I think I ended up just throwing it away. It was just one of the cheap plastic ones, like cheap kids glass. I was like, let's just I don't want to think about it anymore. At least it wasn't one of those like Marvel cartoon characters be like, "You pooped on Captain America." So for those who don't know, on one of Rants with Rogers live streams, I was chatting with them and it was awesome. They do some awesome live streams. Definitely check them out. Um, they were so I was right in the middle of it and I walk into the bathroom and my kid's washing out this glass and I see this very disturbing material on the rim of it and I was like, um, what are you doing? That looks like poop. And he's like, yeah, I pooped into it. I was just like, yay, parenting. So I grabbed the glass from him and finished off for him because, kids, they're not going to do a good job at it. Came back, was like, sorry, Roger, I had to walk away and explain that. And apparently that became kind of a popular topic for that chat that night. But uh, look back at the chat. That was funny. Let's see here. I used that a bit. My Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw that. Thanks. Definitely. But anyway, as I've talked about and kind of ranted about just a little bit in some of my other podcast and excuse me, in some of my other uh live streams is always when it comes to filmmaking and Roger, I mean Matt, you probably know this more than anybody. Efficiency is so important. Um I'm going to turn my camera around here so you can see my lighting setup. So, what I've got going on here is I literally took a plastic bag. So I've got just like a cheap Home Depot light. It's kind of hard to tell, it's blowing out real bad, but it's a cheap like just light that I got from Home Depot. Was actually Amazon, but it's a shop light. And I put this white bag over it so it softened the light, and it's permanently taped there. Can't do anything about that. This black screen behind it is my wife's sewing area, and I just didn't want that as a background. So you should be proud of me, Matt. Um, Can you bring your camera full? I guess I don't know what that means. This is as wide as I can make my camera. But anyway, so I've got this Duvetine. It's the professional product. I black out my window and everything. I left the light on so it add a nice little hair light, but it just creates a simple background. So I'm like, I want it, I want my live streams to be great and not just like what the heck is in the background there. So little box in the corner. So you know your little box in the corner. Oh, are you talking about my little studio that I shoot my main videos in? I can't bring the camera over to that because this is a USB camera. I wanted to set up my live stream, and until I get like a good laptop or something, I can't quite do that. I don't know if I can do it on my iPad. I'm gonna look into that because I would love to do my live streams actually in my studio. So I don't know if that's what you were referring to, where I shoot in my studio. I hope to be able to do that in the future. You have to get to 1,000 subscribers before you can do it mobily. There's a way you can kind of cheat it. I watched some videos, and I don't think I want to do that right now. I've got this set up really good, so let's see here. Oh, get rid of the bad editor screen. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I see what you're getting at. So now you want to see what I had to say. Yeah, full screen. I'm training myself not to look at my screen, but look at the camera, and so I was not paying attention. So I've got. I'll turn it off for a quick sec. So now you can't see. But anyway, it's basically just a Home Depot light and a plastic bag, and I know it's. But anyway, because in lighting, They say the larger the source, the softer the light. And having these two little 4 foot tubes created kind of this harsh shadow. So what I did was I literally went down, just pulled the garbage bag straight out of the garbage can, and I cut down the sides, opened it up, and taped it to the ceiling. So it created this little dome. Like you can't really see it because the light just blows it out. But so that way it just softened that light, you know, because the larger the light source, the softer. I mean, you can see it. It almost looks like this, but you can see, it's the little red ties. That's all I did. So DIY forever, right? Um, but anyway, so I mean, that's years of watching Film Riot and tons of other awesome filmmakers on YouTube giving tips like that. That I was like, I mean, and this light was super cheap. I bought 4 of them for like I think it was $47 on Amazon. There was a special going on, so I bought 4 of them. So I'm lighting my studio over there with them, so that way I don't have to have that light stand anymore. So I used to have this C stand, which you can actually see here. I'm lazy and haven't put it away. That C stand, and I had this big expensive, $250 light on top of it, but it was always in the way. Since it was in our guest bedroom, if we ever had guests, I had to strike it and take it down. Not efficient, right? So now I've got all of those types of lights screwed everywhere, so it just floods me with nice soft LED light. And so all I have to do is just walk in, plug in one thing, because I also have my if you watch the video on becoming a millionaire on YouTube, you'll see that I have my monitor, camera, my extra camera all set up to AC power. So I have this big 6 brick plug-in with all my lights, the one that lights up my symbol in the background and everything. I just go boom, plug it in, everything's on. And it's just the efficiency is so nice, and I'm always improving it, so it just gets easier and easier. So efficiency is so important, especially like for a vlogger. When a vlogger goes out and like they don't want to like hook up the cameras, plug in the lights. They don't want to do all that. The efficiency is so important because quality will very quickly follow efficiency. So if it takes you like no time at all to set up whatever, then awesome. For example, I don't have the microphone here, but I can show you the recorder. So I looked, because I'm budget restricted. This little camera, this little recorder, we shot the Beast on. So this was the recorder we had. The microphone actually that I'm using right now, an Rode NGT2. It's actually a shotgun mic. It's not meant for this type of stuff, but sounds good. We had shot that, and anyway, plugged right into here, and it records phenomenal audio. So what I'm doing now is I have now a lavalier. So when I do my walking vlogs, if you've seen them, I've done 2 of them now. I can just tuck this in my back pocket, hit record. I'll do my audio file when I'm recording with my video audio file. This do my clap or whatever, and then just record it and sync it up in post. And it's not as efficient as if I had a wireless source, but you know what? That wireless source is like $200 or $300. This was $60. So for now, and of course, I'm really quick at syncing stuff up in post, so it's not a huge deal. And there's no distance restriction, so I could be as far away as I wanted, right? Anyway, efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. Because quality, whenever you go to buy equipment, think about efficiency before you think about a quality. Quality. I bought a newer kit, 2 LED full size dimmable lights with light stands for around $180. Yeah, dude, LED lights are getting so cheap these days. Like, oh my goodness. I'm like lighting my shop. Like, I have a little shed that I do my carpentry work in, and I'm like putting up lights. Like, man, I would have killed to have a light like this 10 years ago when I was shooting my short films. You know, just getting so cheap. And a light ring for about 20 bucks. I've only found the $30 to $40. I haven't found these $20 light rings that everyone keeps talking about, but I don't think I ever want to move to a light ring for 2 reasons. If you look at my eyes right now, look in my eyes, Matt. I like this style of eye light more than the light ring. The light ring looks like they're possessed with a demon, in my opinion. It's just having, especially if they're, a talk real close to the camera type guy, and they have these two bright circles right over their pupils. It's just like, ah, in my opinion, it's just creepy. I don't particularly care the way the highlight looks for a light ring, and I prefer more of a yeah, you've got some shadows, you have a little contrast, you have some, you understand some directional stuff, and that's just coming maybe from more of my cinematic, because I, was a cinematographer for both of my feature films, or excuse me, one of them, and a lot of short films. I prefer more contrasty lighting, like you tell where some of the light sources are coming from, we see some shadows, it's not all just like Big Bang Theory style, or just sitcom style in a light. So I don't think I ever want to get a light ring. I understand why people do, because it's efficient. It's like click on high and it's beautifully lit. I understand why people do. I don't think I want to move. I prefer the challenge of making garbage bag lights. So anyway, here we go. Let me see what you got to say. My lighting's perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Um, it's not perfect, but I'll always be making small tweaks. But eventually, I mean, you are correct. I need to stop. you know, I mean, the way I have my lighting set up, and I really wish I could unplug this camera and go show you my studio lighting setup. Um, but for my live streams, I think I'm good. But I do need to increase efficiency, because right now, what I've got going on is it's just literally stapled to the ceiling. I'm planning on re-sheetrocking this or paneling it, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just literally taking tacks. And so I have to do that every single time. So my wife was like, well, just set up a little temporary shower curtain and you just roll it over and you have little clamps. So you just slide it. I was like, there you go. Now you're thinking like a YouTuber. So anyway, that is something I definitely intend to do. Just create just a slightly more efficient way that I do these live streams. And hopefully we'll get some more people on board. Because right now, like I said, you and me and Brian are the only ones here. So I hope to get more people involved, because I want to offer as much value as I can. Some people do channel reviews, and there's a lot of really smart people that do channel reviews. Chris from Mafia's Finest TV does, and he's helpful. And Gormadak or whatever, I can't remember. He's going to review my channel this weekend. Um, anyway, so that's not something I want to do, because I'm not the greatest at that. But what I can do is look at a video and be like, try maybe moving the camera closer, because you shouldn't be next to a highway while recording. It just, sometimes you watch these YouTube channels and you're like, there's this one particular, I won't say his name, but he's up to almost 2,000 subscribers right now. And he just turns on a webcam like this. Like, imagine if I did this. So today we're going to be talking about stock investments, imagine like how awful that would be. And that is literally every single one of his videos. And the other day, and the video's like this too. The video's like shaking as he's like pounding on the desk and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, you know, usually I'm like, thumbs up, man, thanks for the video. But this time I was like, dude, turn on a light. It's like I can barely even see your face. Turn on a light, man. And plus the camera's shaking the whole time, because he's just like nervous, like shaking the camera, shaking the desk. And I was like, and he was like, oh, sorry, my bad. And I watched his next 4 or 5 videos, and the same thing. He hasn't improved anything. But anyway, that's fine. I mean, who am I to talk? This dude has almost 2,000 subscribers. So, I might have good videos, but anyway. So, wow, this live stream went just a little bit longer than I thought. I might just start ranting and just showing random things that I think I like. Anyway, Let's take a look here back at the chat. Yeah, definitely. All right, we'll definitely see you tomorrow. So yeah, definitely, guys. If you haven't checked out Rants with Rogers, fun channel, fun channel. When you think about Rants with Rogers, you think about like usually like this weird, super either Democratic or Republican guy just going berserk over some baloney. No, it's not. His stuff's funny, and it's family friendly. He keeps profanity out of it. He just like it's like kind of like dry bar comedy. If you haven't checked his channel out, definitely check his channel out. Anyway, I'm gonna keep doing these live streams whether people watch or don't. So this one I think we'll post because we actually had somebody and we talked about a bunch of fun stuff and hopefully things that were helpful for you. So I just want to go ahead and wrap up this stream and just let you guys know no matter what, always be improving and absolutely most important, always be creating.